Hey guys, and welcome to my review for HBO's House of the Dragon Episode 5, We Light the Way. Well, that was another amazing episode. My god, I think this might be my favorite one yet. The acting on the show is so damn good, and when that's added to the great story, setting, and dialogue, nearly every scene struck a chord with me. Really enjoyed this one. But as always, before getting into my top 5 moments, honorable mentions, and there's a lot of them, go to the death of Rhea Royce in the Vale, the great relationship and political maneuvering of Corlys and Rhaenys, Viserys confessing his insecurities to Lionel Strong, Laena Velaryon ingratiating herself with Rhaenyra and Daemon, Joffrey unwisely talking to Kristen Cole at the welcome banquet, Harwin Strong saving Rhaenyra during the attack, Laenor and Rhaenyra's sad wedding at the end of the episode, and lastly, I want to specifically mention Kristen Cole and Alicent Hightower's eyes. Both those actors did an exceptional job, with their immensely expressive eyes most standing out to me, as Kristen Cole gave off a feeling of naive sincerity, heartbreak, and seething rage, with a worrying hint of madness behind it all, like a man on the edge of losing control. Alicent's eyes, meanwhile, told a story of a woman who's done playing nice, bringing a look of cold fury to the wedding we've never seen before. Incredible job by both of them. Now, moving on to what I felt was the 5th best moment of the episode. I went with Otto's final conversation with Alicent before departing, where he made one last attempt to convince his daughter that Aegon must be king, setting her on a path to war with Rhaenyra. Overall, I don't particularly like Otto or his family, but I can't help but empathize with them to some degree. Although I don't agree with Otto's assessment of the situation, that Rhaenyra would have to kill her siblings to secure the throne, and I do think they're largely motivated by greedy ambition, I also sense a level of genuine sincerity in Otto, that he thinks he's absolutely doing the right and necessary thing for his family, including Alicent, who he treats at times like a chess piece, but always in the name of securing the most prosperous future for her and her children. This level of commitment and loyalty while still hugging his daughter and expressing his love is admirable. Alicent also did a great job in this scene, as you can see the anguish she's going through trying to remain loyal to her father without abandoning her trust in Rhaenyra. Alicent killed it this entire episode, with her showing up in 4 out of my top 5 moments, and the actress Emily Carey really is doing a phenomenal job with the role. It's a shame this was her last episode because of the 10-year time jump coming in the next one, but I look forward to seeing how the new actress fills her shoes. Now, for the 4th best moment of the night, I chose our first real glimpse into the clubfoot Larys Strong when he spoke to Alicent in the garden. A cunning son of House Strong, who plays an important role in the events to come, I thought he snaked his way through this conversation brilliantly, as if auditioning for the role of the Queen's personal spy master. I gotta say, the Strongs might be the MVPs for this series so far. I don't know if this is all some brilliant, coordinated political operation, or if each of the Strongs are acting independently, but they've somehow managed to entrench themselves with the 3 most powerful people in the realm. As Lionel is hand to the king, Larys has befriended the queen, and Harwin saved the princess, which served as a wonderful addition to becoming her new champion now that Kristen Cole made an ungracious exit from her service. And they've managed to do all this without pissing off any of the royals, making any big waves, or creating enemies among the nobility. Every time I see a Strong on screen, it makes me happy, and for some reason proud, like I'm watching scrappy underdogs work their way to the top. Moving on to the 3rd best moment of the night, I went with Rhaenyra breaking the heart of Kristen Cole. God, this was tough to watch. I don't like Kristen Cole, probably because of how he was portrayed in the books, but it was also pretty devastating watching his soul crushed before my eyes. On the other hand, I can't help but shake my head at his behavior. He is, after all, a grown man who spent years living in the Red Keep, and should better understand how insane his suggestion was. Even if she complained a lot, how could he possibly think running away together was a good idea? Unfortunately, Kristen Cole, up to this point, was just too naive to involve himself in politics, which he did as soon as he accepted Rhaenyra's advances. Rather than learning the game and playing it to the best of his ability, like Joffrey did for Laenor, he ignored the politics and put all his emotional energy into the princess, focusing on that now that his honor as a Kingsguard was shattered forever. Then, when he realized Rhaenyra wouldn't commit herself to him in this same way, everything was lost and it was just a matter of time before he snapped. A very powerful scene. For the number 2 spot, I chose Queen Alicent, stopping Kristen Cole from taking his own life. This, in addition to the earlier scene together, was a real pleasure to watch, as Alicent was coming to the realization Rhaenyra could not be trusted, and you can tell the words of her father are ringing in her head, as she starts wondering if he was right about this, was he also right about the threat against her children? And so when she arrived at the end and spoke to Sir Kristen, I could really tell they were a match made in hell, as both burned with pure hatred for the princess. Not only can Alicent offer Kristen a chance at redeeming his honor by loyally serving the queen and helping secure the throne for Aegon, this will also give him a chance for revenge against the woman who cost him his honor and rejected his love. Now finally, for the best moment of the night, I went with Alicent arriving late at the banquet and declaring war on Rhaenyra with a green dress. What a powerful scene, with Alicent finally coming into her own as the political warrior she was in the books. Her smile to the Hightowers, hearing Larys explain that green means war, all this was incredible, and I could feel the tension rising with every step she took. And then that look of poisonous hatred she gave Rhaenyra while mouthing words of congratulations. It was all amazing. I felt so bad for Viserys, who already had a fairly weak nature, and now coupled with his illness, it felt like he had no authority at all during that banquet, with even his wife disrespecting him without any fear of reprisal. What a great way to end her time on House of the Dragon, as the actress playing Alicent absolutely excelled in this, her last major scene on the show. So those were my top 5 moments for the night, and as I said earlier, I love this episode, my favorite so far. I don't even have any criticisms, as I felt they handled every scene well. And overall, I have to say they really are producing a top quality show, that despite cutting out some things, modifying characters, and consolidating storylines, they clearly have a great respect for the source material, which I very much appreciate. Now, for the best kill of the episode, I think the choice is pretty obvious, with Kristen Cole going mad and bashing in the face of Joffrey Lonmouth at the Green Wedding, placing it firmly in line with the Red and Purple weddings, as events which quickly turned from joy to tragedy. This entire sequence was fascinating to watch, as was the inability of Viserys to control the situation in any way. His natural passivity and illness are certainly understandable reasons why he couldn't do anything, but this isn't the first time chaos breaks out in front of him, and so I couldn't help but recall the scene from Game of Thrones Season 1, when the Clegane brothers start fighting at a tourney, only for Robert Baratheon to yell out, "Stop this madness in the name of your king," causing 2 of the hardest, most ruthless killers on the continent to immediately stop their duel. I always remember that scene because it really showed Robert as a man of authority, that despite letting himself go, his reputation and history demanded respect and obedience. Viserys, unfortunately, can summon none of that warrior's charisma, and it shows nearly every time he's on screen. Moving on to the best line of the night, we return to Alicent arriving at the banquet in her green dress, when Larys said to his brother, "The beacon on Hightower, do you know what color it glows when Old Town calls its banners to war?" With Harwin replying green. So those are my thoughts for The House of the Dragon Episode 5, We Light the Way. As I said earlier, this was my favorite episode, and I have no real criticisms, so I kind of feel like giving it a 10 out of 10. I honestly can't think of anything they might have done better, so to me, it was pretty much perfect. But what do you guys think? Am I being too generous, or do you guys feel the same way? Let me know in the comments below, and like always, be sure to check out the links to some of my other recent videos, like the spoiler-free Prelude to the House of the Dragon video, the spoiler-filled Dance of the Dragons video, my World of Thrones video going over the geography of this world, and a beginner's guide to the entire history of A Song of Ice and Fire. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and check out the links below, or else go to patreon.com/CivilizationEx, where you can gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.